Hey everyone, I am back with a different kind of video where I'm going to be giving you my 5 book recommendations. The reason that I would recommend them to clients is because it really helps with such a big change in your life, things like buying or selling a home. I think only one of the books that I'm going to be talking about today are actually real estate and based, and then all of my honorable mentions are going to be real estate based, but the other 4 books are actually just going to be more mindset things or self-help, like self-development types of books, because I think that when you read those types of books, then you're just going to be happier and things are going to be easier, you're going to be calmer, and with such a big thing going on in your life, such as buying or selling a home, then you kind of want to have a good foundation. So these are more foundational books for big life changes such as buying or selling a home. So thank you so much for tuning in, and let's get to it. I have my handy dandy notes here. So the first book that I would recommend would be Psychology of Money by Morgan Housel. Essentially, this book teaches you how to have a better relationship with money and how to make smarter financial decisions. Being able to gain information on how to be more financially literate just through reading a book is really cool and important. And whether you're doing big money moves or not, you should read Psychology of Money and you should learn about financial literacy. I think this one is really good because money and emotions really go hand in hand for people, so it's good to figure out how to separate them or how to utilize that relationship. The next book is Atomic Habits by James Clear, and this was a trendy book. You might have heard of it already, but Atomic Habits is essentially just changing 1% every day type of concept. It gives you the laws for setting and maintaining good habits, and the reason that I would recommend this to my clients is because you want to build a life where you own a home, and you want to build a life where you can build equity through real estate, and having a life where you have good habits that you maintain is just a foundational layer to doing great things, big things, and things that would be able to allow you to purchase multiple homes, things like that. My main takeaways, and something that I would say is really important, a little note jotting down thing, is the 4 things that are kind of addressed in the book. So it's make it obvious, meaning make the habit obvious, make it attractive, obviously make the habit attractive, make bad habits unattractive, things like that, vice versa. Make it easy, which is something that I've implemented the most. So if I want to film, then I have my camera already charged from the night before, and I have the memory all ready to go. Everything is ready, so when the time actually comes, everything is ready for me. I've made it easy. And then the last one is make it satisfying. So my reward with this is just that I like to do it, but habits aren't always fun. So, make it satisfying. You can reward yourself after doing a specific habit, like you can watch TV for 30 minutes after you've done a workout for 30 minutes, something like that. So obviously a lot of people have talked about the book, so I don't want to be going over it too much, and you can definitely look into it more. But I really liked the book and the concepts that they gave out, and so did a lot of people. So the next book was actually the first nonfiction book I've ever read in my life, if you don't count like school textbooks. It's called 7 Habits of Highly Effective People, and it's by Stephen Covey. And basically it goes through the 7 habits of highly effective people. It was very life-changing to me because it was the first nonfiction book that I read, so it was very progressive for me as just a regular old like 15-16-year-old who only read fiction, to learn that there are different ways to gain information in order to grow, and one of those main ways is through books. So that's just a personal story, but the kind of 7 things that they go over, and I'm just gonna list them off again, you should read it yourself, is 1, be proactive. 2, begin with the end in mind. 3, put first things first. 4, think win-win. 5, seek first to understand, then to be understood. 6, synergies. And 7, sharpen the saw. So those are kind of the chapter titles, but you can kind of get an idea of the idea that is being conveyed within those chapters just from the titles. And these are all very important concepts, but something that you should definitely read and dig into even further. And next up we have my technically real estate book. So I would definitely recommend this to anybody buying or selling a home, but mostly for people who are looking at the investing side. Although this information in this book is extremely useful to everybody, which is why I would just recommend it all around. And that book is The Millionaire Real Estate Investor by Gary Keller, Dave Jenks, and Jay Papasan. This book is in-depth, like 400 plus page book about real estate investing, but the tools that they give to you within this book are so valuable and something that you should definitely read if you're interested in real estate as an investor or as an agent or as anybody. It's a really great book. It just has actionable content for everybody from beginners to experienced investors. So even if you think that you know everything already about real estate investing, it still has tools for you to use as an experienced investor. So the big thing about Gary Keller too, who is actually the founder of Keller Williams, the brokerage that I work at, is that he has a lot of models, and these models are basically things, systems and tools and whatnot that you can utilize in order to build your business, build your investments and all of that. So some of the things that he included into the book here are the 5 models of millionaire real estate investors, which include net worth, financial network, lead generation, and acquisition. Those are just some of the models that you will find in the book. Last but definitely not least is a book that I stumbled upon on Audible, and it's called The Things You Can Only See When You Slow Down by Haemin Sunim, and it is a Korean translated nonfiction book. I would say that it talks about mental organization, and again, this is like a foundational thing for doing great things in life, such as real estate investing, buying multiple properties and whatnot. It allows you to take the best parts of the world and the best parts of yourself and your mind and kind of amplify those things, which is really important in a world where things can be so stressful and scary and daunting, but it doesn't have to be. It's all about who you are as your baseline. And if you are able to be grateful and present and have a kind of a mental organization, you're able to focus on things and seep information in even better, then it's a great tool for you as a person to continue to grow and succeed in life. So I personally like this book simply because of the fact that it's extremely calming and it is very inspiring and motivational, but not in the type of way where it's like, you have to do it, you gotta do it, it's gonna be great, like super aggressive. It's a very passive type of motivation where it's like, do you see, if this is how you are, then this is what the world can be, and it's nice and wonderful and happy, and obviously not all the time, every time, but it's a great book, and I listened to it on Audible, so that's a really great tool. I think it's free on Audible, so shout out to Audible for making this free, and I think that was the reason why I read it. So yeah, it's a really great book. Again, The Things You Can Only See When You Slow Down by Haemin Sunim, and take a breather, listen to this book, and feel at peace. I think that's the best way that I can describe it. And last but not least are the honorable mentions, which are just some books that you should read, but I didn't want to talk too much about. So the first one, which is just probably the most popular real estate book, but not even a real estate book, is Rich Dad Poor Dad by Robert Kiyosaki. And this is the reason why so many real estate agents got into real estate, the reason why people decided to do whatever they do with their businesses, decided to invest in real estate, stuff like that. It's a widely popular book, talked about on so many different podcasts, and I just think it's really cool that he's also from Hawaii, and you're able to kind of get a connection there if you are also from Hawaii. The other book that I wanted to talk about, and this is again just me wanting to talk about this book because I love it. It's called 101 Essays That'll Change the Way You Think by Brianna Wiest, and I think I have it. It's at the bottom of this stack, which goes all the way down here. But this is one of my favorite books of all time. It is so easy to read because it's broken up into 101 essays. So once you finish one or two, you still feel completed and fulfilled and accomplished because you actually completed reading an essay. The different perspectives that Brianna Wiest brings up in this book is amazing. It gives you a problem and then it tells you a good solution or a good way to react. And I think that's really useful, is when people don't know how to react to situations, then that's when problems can arise even further. So giving you a problem and then showing you a healthy way to react to it, is really nice. There's 101 essays in this one book, so the chances of you not finding an essay that applies to you would be very, very small, and that's why I would recommend it and why I've talked a little bit too much about it just now. But the last three that I'm going to zoom past because they are extremely real estate niche, specifically real estate investing niche, but would still be really good for any first-time homebuyer to read as well, is Buy, Rehab, Rent, Refinance, Repeat, called The BRRRR Method, BRRRR Method, by David Green. And then the book on rental property investing by Brandon Turner is another really popular one. If you just Google real estate investing books, this is the book on every list, is the book on rental property investing by Brandon Turner. And last but not least, this actually isn't a book that I've read, but I really, really want to, and it came up a lot in my searches for this video and preparing for this video, is the book on tax strategies by Amanda Hahn and Matthew McFarlane. So the reason that I would recommend this without even reading it is because something that I realized about the real estate industry, whether you're an investor or an agent or something else within any industry really, is that taxes are so important to know about. CPAs are vital to everybody. So it's really important to learn tax strategies, and personally working with self-employed clients as well, being able to know the different tax strategies, being able to work with investors and give them guidance on things like 1031 exchanges, which is a tax strategy, is really important. And personally, I would love to know more about tax law. Since getting into real estate, I've become very, very interested in tax law, and this sounds like a really good way to get started in that. So, and if you want, we can read along together. I will order the book and then we can read it on my Instagram. I watch book reviewers on YouTube, and my favorite book reviewer, Jack Edwards, did this thing for a while where he went live and just read a book, and it helped other people set aside time to read a book as well. So if that's something you guys are interested in, I would love to do that, and then we can have like a little book club on the book on tax strategies, which sounds so fun, but I would love to do that. Let me know. I don't know. I just thought of that just now, so it's not very thought out, but thank you guys so much for watching. If you guys want to be a real estate agent, these two books are pretty crucial. Yeah, that is it for today's video. Let me know if this was helpful. I didn't really go in depth about the books that I talked about because I want you guys to just read them yourselves. I don't want to cover everything and have you not read them, because you're not going to get everything that you possibly can from the book if you don't read it yourself. I am going to link down below some articles for summaries for all of the books, just in case you guys want to skim through, you're not a reader, you don't like books, and you just want to get the gist of it. I'll leave some articles down below that I've found are good ways of explaining the books. But thank you so much. I'm planning on doing a book review video for fiction books because I actually read mostly fiction books. Everything behind me is pretty much fiction. I think like 5 out of these 50 books are nonfiction. I usually listen to nonfiction on Audible. So anyway, thank you guys again so much for watching this video. Let me know if this is something that you liked and what you would want to see next. And thank you so much, and catch you next time at the next video. Okay, thank you. Bye.